We've all been there, right? You're wedged into an airplane seat, knees jammed against the seat in front of you, just counting the minutes until you can finally stand up. Well, today we're going to dive into the surprising science behind why that seat feels so bad, and we'll unpack the economic squeeze that's making it all feel even tighter. So let's ask the big question. What really makes an airplane seat comfortable? You'd probably think it's just about the cushion or having a little legroom, but the real answer is so much more complex, and frankly, a lot more fascinating. Let's start with what we all know. That feeling of being totally cramped, of your personal space just evaporating the longer you're on the flight. It's pretty much become a standard part of flying. But why does it feel so uniquely awful? You know, the first thing we always complain about is legroom. But what researchers have found is that our actual experience of comfort goes way, way deeper than that. It's a whole mix of physical, psychological, and even social stuff. Okay, so to really get to the bottom of this, we've got to look at the actual science of what it's like to be a passenger. There's real academic research that has mapped out all those feelings we have, and it gives us a much clearer picture of what comfort really means. And get this, comfort isn't just one simple thing. It turns out researchers broke it down into 8 distinct themes. We're talking everything from physical well-being to peace of mind and even aesthetics. It's a whole experience. Now, 8 themes is a lot to think about, but what's really interesting is that when you focus just on the seat itself, the conversation narrows down pretty quickly. It really boils down to 3 big ones. And there they are, the big 3 that define how you feel in that seat. Physical well-being, no surprise, takes the top spot at 40%. But check this out. Peace of mind and this other thing called proxemics are right up there. I mean, together, these 3 account for over 70% of our entire experience in that seat. That's huge. All right, let's break these down. First up, physical well-being. This is the obvious one, right? It's all about your body. Does the seat hurt? Are you getting cramps? And, fun fact, this is the only one of the big 3 that's actually scientifically linked to how tall you are. Next, we've got peace of mind. Now, this one's all on your head, but it is just as real. It's that sense of calm and security, the ability to just relax instead of feeling trapped. It's the difference between dozing off peacefully and that panicky feeling that your head's about to fall into the aisle. And that brings us to the third one, proxemics. This might be a new word for you, but the feeling is super familiar. It's all about your personal bubble, your space. It's about having control, like, can you recline your seat? Who gets the armrest? It's that feeling that this little spot is yours, even for just a few hours. Okay, so that's the science. It's pretty clear, right? We need physical support, a calm mind, and some control over our own little bubble. So, with all that in mind, let's look at what's actually happening out there in the real world of flying. Yeah, you're seeing this more and more. Some airlines are installing seats that are just fixed. They don't recline at all. So that whole idea of control and proxemics we just talked about, poof, gone. And you can imagine how people feel about it. It's not great. One of the first people to fly in one of these new seats on Spirit, a passenger named Eve Green, put it perfectly. She just felt confused and frustrated. That control she expected to have was just not there. But look, it's not just about losing the recline button. The entire amount of space, your actual physical territory on that plane, is shrinking too. Let's put some real numbers on this. There's a measurement called seat pitch. It's basically the distance from one point on your seat to the same point on the seat in front of you. On an airline like Southwest, you get around 32 inches. Pretty decent. But then you look at others like Spirit or WestJet, and they're down to 28 inches. 4 inches might not sound like a lot, but trust me, your knees can absolutely tell the difference. It's a huge deal. So all of this completely contradicts the science of comfort we just went through. It makes you wonder, right? Why on earth would airlines do this? Well, I think you probably know the answer. It all comes down to money. And from a business perspective, the logic is actually kind of simple. These newer, fixed seats, they're lighter, which saves a ton on fuel. They have fewer parts that can break, so maintenance is cheaper. And of course, the less space each seat takes up, the more rows you can cram onto a plane. More rows mean more passengers, which means more revenue. And their justification for all this? It's all about keeping your fare low. So here we are, with 2 totally opposing forces. On one side, you've got the science of what makes us feel good as passengers. And on the other, you've got the cold, hard economics of the airline industry. Let's put it all together.
So let's go back to our big three comfort factors. How do they fare when they go head to head with this great airline squeeze?
Well, the conflict is pretty stark. That tighter seat pitch, it directly challenges our physical well-being. And that feeling of being totally boxed in, it just demolishes our peace of mind. And losing your personal space and the ability to recline, that's a direct hit on proxemics, that need for control we all have. So when you boil it all down, that's what's happening. We're in the middle of this massive trade-off. Every time we book a flight, we're basically deciding to trade those scientifically proven elements of comfort for a cheaper ticket. We're all making that choice, whether we actively think about it or not. And that really leaves us with the big question, doesn't it? As this battle between our comfort and the airline's bottom line continues, is that rock bottom fare really worth feeling miserable for a few hours? It's something to think about next time you book a flight.